So now that we have our basic arrangement, I'm going to start modifying some drums here. I have this section here at bar 26, and I've added a hi-hat, an open hi-hat here, and then moved this closed one up one beat, so that sounds like this. And then I'm just repeating it at the end of every second bar. And then here. And also here and here. And then we'll need it here as well. And that takes us up to our first breakdown. So I'm also going to add this in the last section of the song here. So it comes back in, and it will start here at 95 almost. And then we'll come back in here. And I'll just keep doing this till the end of the track. So now that we have those hi-hats in here, I'm going to just modify the arrangement a little bit. I'm going to take out or mute bars through 49 through 65. Just going to press shift here and right click and mute these clips. So I'm just going to add another instrument to add some more percussion to our track, and I'm just going to select this track here, and then I'm going to right click and add an instrument, and then the patch I want is a Kong patch called Psy-Trancer, and it's this one here. So I'm just going to create that, and as you can see, it's created it right underneath our drums here, so we can keep those things together as much as possible. And yeah, so this kit sounds so I'm going to be using some of the higher percussion in this kit, and it's only going to come in at certain points in the track. So let's just create a clip, and we're going to start at bar 49 here. Just going to set our marker here, and I'm just going to make it 4 bars long to begin with. In fact, let's just go 8 bars, and let's just go 8 bars. Then I'm going to double click on it to bring it in focus here. So as you can see, Kong has mapped to the drum edit view mode, so we can see all of our drums here, and then we can click on them and choose the notes that we want. So there's a hi-hat closed. I'm just going to, this one here. So I'm just going to add let's make sure we're on the right. Yeah, let's just change this to 16ths. So we got 4 here. I'm just going to double click to get that one out. There we go. So I'm just going to copy and paste these. And then again, just all the way across to the end of our 8 bars. Okay, so those will sound like this. Just going to solo them. Yeah, so that's every 16th. So on each quarter note, I am going to add a semi-open. This one here. I'm just going to do that. So we got 4 here. Let's just grab those, copy and paste them. So we should have 8 of those. So let's have a listen. So they're not exactly the sounds I want. This is what they sound like in context of the track right now. Yeah, a little too abrasive and obviously too high in the mix right now. So I'm just going to go to the device, the Kong device here, and I'm going to pick those drums, and so we had this hi-hat semi-open, and we also had the hi-hat closed. So let's just take a look at the hi-hat closed first. So I'm going to take its level down a bit to around about here, and just so you can hear it, I'm going to turn it up here. I'm going to take the pitch down to around about here, so it's not quite as metallic and sharp sounding. The decay, I'm just going to add a little bit of decay onto it. And the tone, I'm going to increase a little bit. Great. So I just want to look inside here and see if there's anything else I want to change in here. I think I'm just going to leave these ones as they are. Rattler, drum room. Yeah, so I'm not going to change any of these effects at the moment. So that's that drum. Let's take a look at the semi-closed one. So I'm going to take down its level a bit. The tone I'm going to leave about the same. I have a slight pan to the right. Let's just check the pan on our closed one. That's off to the left a little bit. Yeah. So I'm just going to leave that there. Move this one to the right a little bit more. Going to increase the bus effects on this one. Change the pitch. That's okay. pull down the decay. Great, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Take this back down to, if you press Control and left click, it will zero items out and bring them back to basically a 0 level or their default level. So that is this part of the percussion. Let's just go back to our track, have a listen to that. So we're going to adjust that in the mixer here. Let's take a look. I'm going to call that high percussion. So the high percussion, I'm just going to drop it down a little bit. Let's just go back to our track F7, and I'm going to set my loop points just around this section. And play that. One other thing I want to do here is just pull down the kick drum level in this kit here. So I'm just going to go F6 and go to the kit here, and the kick drum is right here. I'm just going to play the track and pull down the level of this kick a little bit. Just so it blends with the other kick a bit more. Just pulling the top of the snare down a little bit. Great, so that's a little more balanced to my ear and on my speakers here. So back in our track here, I'm just going to Control S to save, Command S on the Mac. So we have this first part here. I'm just going to extend that, and I'm just going to copy this and paste it 3 more times so it takes us up to our breakdown up here, and then I'm going to add it back in at the end of the track because that is the loudest part. That's our main drop at the end, and I'm just going to paste it in here 3 times, and that'll bring us to the end of the track. Cool. So we can obviously adjust the levels of these percussion items when we come to mix down the track. Right now we're just building our arrangement, working on our sounds and our rhythms that we want to have in this track. So aside from this Kong rhythm here, I also want just another little percussion loop to go in at certain points in the song. I'm just going to right click and add an instrument, and we're going to add a Dr. Octorex, and I'm just going to look for a patch called AP_ENS125. It's called Progression. I think it's this one here. I'm just going to create that. So now we have our Dr. Octorex right here. Just going to rename that to percussion loop. So we can play that loop here. And we may modify this loop later. right now I just like the fact that it's got nice stereo separation. I may remove the middle part, which is in the mid of the stereo field, but for now I'm just going to grab this loop and place it into our track in certain points here. So if we go to the track here, so I kind of wanted it to come in on the piano breakdown sections. So I think like here. Let's see if that's the same loop. Progression. Okay. I'm just going to check this loop because I'm not sure it's the one I wanted. Actually, it's the one called progression here. So yeah. So let's take a listen to that again. Yeah, I just like the sound of the go-go in the stereo field there. So I'm going to just place that here in this section, and a couple of different ways we can do this. So I'm just going to right click here. I'm going to copy loop to track, then F7. So now you can see I have the loop in the track here. So if I play, but you're also hearing the device playing in the background as well. So you're getting the loop twice here. So I'm just going to disable loop playback here. So now we should just hear the copied loop on the track. Cool, so we can use that and place that into the sections of the song where we want it to appear. So that's one way we can just copy the loop into the track like that. That's fine. Another way is just to automate our player. So our Dr. Octorex here, and we can right click and edit automation. So now we could, let's just go to our track here, and we have pattern selection here. So if I double click here and create these bars, you can see I can select a different pattern to switch off and on during that time. So if I just mute these, select them and right click, mute. So in order to use the automation, we need to enable loop playback. So let's just go back here now that we've muted these, and we have our automation pattern selection on pattern 1. So now we can hear our loop playing, and if we had other percussion loops, we could switch from 1 through 8 on the Dr. Octorex to play different loops at different times. So we have the choice of doing it this way or this way. I'm going to just do the automation way for now. So I'm going to delete these and just kill that lane there. So that's the first piano break. The next section, I'm just going to zoom out here, will be up here. So I'm just going to copy this and place it here. And then at the end of the song, I'd like it to come in again. Maybe just for the last little bit here. So I'm just going to paste it in there and see how that goes. We may change the duration of this or not have it in at all, but at the end it'll sound like this. And obviously, once we come to mix this sound, we'll work on the levels and balancing it. So that is our percussion for now, and some adjustments to our drums.